Hello everyone, I am Silverraptor and welcome to a deck creations video following a gameplay video of me playing said deck. I would like to showcase what I have in this deck so that I can share what I did because it's a solid deck. A friend of mine asked me to help him create said deck with the theme in mind. I didn't have one. We went over it and we came together and I just kind of stole it from him at the last bit just to make sure I had it because it again is pretty solid. So yep, let's just dive right on in. First off, fob always is good to have. For the supply trucks, I have the stars. They're decent in their own right. It's perfectly fine. Just doing some math here. No, fob definitely has more. But yeah, use them. Just to resupply the stuff, pretty standard. I have this mainly because it's fast, medium size, medium optics, really fast, amphibious and such. Just get it into places that I need. And then if I need to be extra sneaky, I have this infantry command squad and an MI-17. MI-17 really good with those 4 HE rockets. They just murderize any infantry that come across. So after you drop off the infantry CV, you've got a helicopter that you can make good use of in the future. Infantry tab. It's just the Ackery 90s is the name of the game. You can only get 2 cards of XA 185 KTs, so I made sure to get the most I possibly could. So I got the Panzer Ackery 90s in in one of these, which does reduce the amount of KTs I can bring by 5, but they didn't really have anything else that was worthwhile except these XA 180s, and I just wanted to have the best of the best of what I could bring in with the Panzer Ackery 90s. So as you can see, I have 13 of these to help me shock train with infantry to be backed up by the Ackery 90s who are supposed to be in the buildings behind the Panzer Ackery, so that these guys are just solid. For 10 points, they've got a really good high fire rate machine gun that's fairly accurate for the 10 points, as well as a 16-point, 40% accurate law rifle. That's just insane. All in KTs, of course. Bring in the pain. I do have BTR 50s because 5.2 front armor, pretty good for surviving some stray shots as well. Spike missiles, of course, absolutely a must. And some ITO 86Ms, mainly because that just needs a little bit of extra AA. But Silver, don't you have 2 Erics? Yes, but I want to have extra AA on top of that. So that's why I have this infantry squad as well. Though I may, you make a very good argument. I don't necessarily need to have all this AA. I mean, they played a pretty crucial role, but I could have just supplemented that with the Ericses. If I were to take them out, what would I bring in? Maybe some more Panther Ackery 90s and XA 180s? I don't know. I'll experiment with that later, but that's a possibility to swap that out and just, especially if you rely on the support tab here. I've got my 4 NUAs, and I've got my ROMs that I showcased in there. I didn't do really exactly that game, but they're all right. I do have the ITO 90s here, and yeah, these are definitely helicopter killers. I didn't really showcase them that game because I didn't really need it with the ITO 86 killing them all. If I were to modify this, I might swap out the ROM in place of like a Donna for artillery piece to drop in. Is there hey, let me see. Is there any other kind of howitzer that I would want? Because being able to howitzer the enemy back line is pretty good. Interesting. Let's just compare these two. The Tekka 91 is more expensive, but less dispersion. But it is slower. But yeah, I think I go with the Donna. You know, I think I have a little too much AA. The ROMs might be a little bit overkill. So I'm just going to take them out and put in a Donna for this course of action, and then we got to play around, see what happens here. Whoops. Let's get all again. Actually, just get this. I got the Tekka 84 as the mortar, 5 HE mortar. Pretty strong start. And the Raka 91s, they just did work that game. They could stun anything up with one barrage just before you attack, which is excellent, and also kill stuff. 11 HE power is no joke. Really long range. Having Donna for a little more concentrated fire support, I think is pretty solid. Like I said, I'll try it out, and if it doesn't work out, just go back to the ROM. If I recall, was there another ROM, or is that it? Hang on. Let's see. So we have the ROM here. Nope. I just remembered that there was like some kind of ROM thing that was different by different nations. So, but I didn't quite see that. As for tanks, you have your choice between the mod and the Twardy. I think I like the mod a bit better. It's not as accurate on the move, but it's got more armor and a more accurate gun. So I think we'd stick with that. Even though the Twardy you can get 3 trained to stick with the mod. This Finnish T-72 and the Wilk have their pros and cons. The T-72 Wilk will survive a bit better, but it doesn't have quite the oomph, whereas the T-72 has more oomph but less survivable. I'm trying to get better at smoking out my tanks, so I decided to pick the T-72 to the T-72 PAV and trying to focus on smoking so I can get those really accurate AP shots in and then back up. But if you're having trouble keeping your tanks alive, getting the M2 Wilk is pretty solid if you want to as well. They're both good in their own right. It's just how your playstyle that you want to go about doing stuff. I have also the T-71 M1 Wilks, which just did absolutely phenomenal that game. These are pretty solid. I got 9 of them to supplement out. I had 12 that game, but that's because the guy left and I got extra availability to the things that I had. I also have some Charioteers. A little bit overkill. I mean, they're really good, cheap fire support, able to kill a lot of APCs. Put these next to the BTR 50s, and they'll move up together. Let's check the BTR 50s. They're actually a little slower than the Charioteer, but that's fine. Good, cheap fire support. They could also serve well next to the KTs, so just something to throw filler points in for this deck. Salamandra. For this deck, I remember him asking about the vehicles and stuff with the Mi-24W, and I told him that for the Salamandra, it's actually going to be his anti-tank helicopter. You might be reeing at this, but just a little bit going to the helicopter. He wanted the Mi-AT KT and the Sokol, but he was just running low on points to quite get the Mi-24W, which is itself really good helicopter. But I decided to I weighed the pros and cons. Let me just pull these up. And yeah, the Mi-24W is pretty good. It's got 8 co-cons, so you could definitely pick it up. But I figured, what if we get the Salamandra for its scouting potential, which is what you're trying to do, and also with its co-con M missiles. You could do either or, but I just figured the Salamandra, being able to get 7 of them, did the job that the Mi-24W would be doing as well. You could get 7 of them trained. But yeah, this is still a pretty solid helicopter. Got the Erics. I got 1 in a Super Puma, and this was just so that I can get them around the battlefield quickly and offload them. The other is in an XA-180. This is just to keep the price down. I did have them at a 185 KT, but I realized that greatly reduced the availability of the KT, even though it made them elite or veteran. I didn't quite need that. So I just got them in the XA-180 just so I can get them to where they need to go front line quickly. Eric's really overpowered. Excellent anti-tank gun, excellent Igla, and a pretty good submachine gun that they can fire on the enemy. Vehicles, I was converted. I'm trying these out, and they're actually giving me some pleasant surprise, at least for fire support. I've yet really to shoot down very much aircraft with this. It's still doing the stun thing that I remember, but I'll keep trying them. I'm maybe not using them correctly. I am surprised that they're so heavily armored, 5.32, and that's actually similar to how heavily armored the Charioteer is. It's pretty good. This is 5 front armor for 15 points, and this 20 points for 5 front armor. Pretty strong, pretty solid. Again, I cover the helicopter, the Mi-AT KT. It's infantry and light vehicle killer. Those rocket pods will kill stuff. Those autocannons will drain through that ammo like quickly and kill them all really quick. It runs out of autocannon ammo really quick, but in its wake it leaves a lot of dead bodies. Sokol for Iglas is mainly used to shoot down enemy helicopters and also a little bit more rocket pod support. So just throwing that in there. Aircraft, I've got 2 Avia 28s, 24 HE power. Like I said, it's a mini B5. It doesn't have any ECM, but its 15 strength helps keep it alive a little bit longer. But it did get stunned by that Raphael, so that sucked. Sierra 30, solid tank killer. Su-22 M4P, getting 4 of the seed missiles, so I can hunt for enemy radar. And the MiG-29 9.13, 2 at elite. Again, they fire both their Vimpo missiles at the same time. With elite status, they're very accurate. You immediately evac these things, and you can kill an enemy pretty solidly with it. Navy, standard, Sabermeni. I decided to get 4 Jangus and 4 Nanushkas with Damuna. Just in case you're on a map with Navy and you can just throw this in. Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So, yeah, that is the Baltic deck that I was using in that game. I made a little bit of changes with having the ROM over. But yeah, just give you some ideas on what to do if you're trying to make a Baltic deck yourself. If you have any other deck ideas you'd like me to try to cover on how I would make a deck of a certain nation and faction, just let me know in the comments. And hope to get you some more Wargame material in the future. So, I'll talk to you later. Or see you later.